Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. Emilio Ramirez, Director of the Housing Department for the City of Oxnard. We're in front of you today to seek your approval in an agreement for acceptance of a Choice Neighborhoods Planning Grant. By way of background, the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development offers a variety of different funding opportunities with the mission of providing affordable housing in areas of town that are in need. One of the programs that they offer is called Choice Neighborhood Program. The intent of the program is to create a vibrant neighborhood where public housing is located, and it seeks to leverage public and private dollars in order to provide for improvements and developments and activity within those neighborhoods. It focuses on replacing public housing that is distressed, but also creating mixed income housing for outcomes related to employment, health, education, recreation, and just a reinvestment in the neighborhood. The program itself is comprised of two parts. One is a planning grant, which is what this one is we're presenting. And if that planning grant subsequently produces that plan, we become eligible for a submission to the second program, which is called an implementation grant, which offers up to $50 million for investment in those neighborhoods. The choice implementation grant would support the comprehensive redevelopment of the site. But it requires that we enact the current planning grant in order to seek that $50 million investment in the area. In preparation of the planning grant, the city and the housing authority engaged a consultant group called EJP in order to help us draft the implementation grant. We're going to enter into a subsequent agreement with them so that they can help us in the process of the planning grant process. The deadline was to submit the application was on June 10th, and we did so submit, and we were awarded the $500,000 planning grant from Choice. The area in question for the planning grant is essentially the Colonial neighborhood and the downtown neighborhood. You can see on screen the map. It has to include areas where there is public housing. So the Colonial neighborhood has a significant amount of public housing, and then the downtown area allows for all the other aspects of need for the planning grant, including employment and transportation and et cetera. On September 9th, staff received a notification from HUD that the City of Oxnard and the Housing Authority had received that planning grant in the amount of $500,000. Immediately thereafter, we received an email indicating that we needed to sign and submit that grant agreement by October 16, 2024, which is why we're in front of you today. Staff wanted to bring a comprehensive staff report with multiple actions for the planning grant, but due to the imminent deadline for submission of the grant, we decided to split it into several actions. So staff will return to City Council to request approval of an amendment to the EJP's contract to help us with continued process of the planning grant and prepare all the other regular elements of that planning grant, including outreach functions. By executing the grant agreement, the city and the housing authority will commit to completing the neighborhood transformation plan at a cost of about $1.25 million. That $1.25 million is made up by that $500,000 from the HUD planning grant, plus $250,000 from the general fund, plus $250,000 from CDBG, plus $250,000 from the Housing Authority Central Fund, and a variety of in-kind contributions, including staff allocations such as myself. The action delegates any agreements between the city and the housing authority and the city manager to transfer will occur in 2024 or 25. Staff will return with any other appropriations necessary to complete the project given the time constraints to meet the HUD deadlines of October 16th. The grant will provide $500,000 to the city, and the housing authority must fund the remaining $750,000 as described above. The city council is recommended to adopt a resolution authorizing authorizing the city manager to execute the fiscal year 24 Choice Neighborhood Planning Grant Agreement for $500,000 as a co-grantee and execute all documents necessary for acceptance of the fiscal year 2024 Choice Neighborhood Planning Grant. Also authorize a fiscal year 24-25 budget appropriation in the amount of $250,000 from the general fund available fund balance and transfer to the housing authority, and authorize the city manager or designee to take all necessary actions to effectuate that transfer. Additionally, we're asking that the Board of Commissioners adopt the resolution authorizing the executive director as designee to execute the fiscal year 24 Choice Neighborhood Planning Grant Agreement in the amount of $500,000 as lead grantee, and to execute the HUD 1044 form and all documents necessary for acceptance of the 24 Choice Neighborhood Planning Grant. Thank you. I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have.